Welcome Year 9. This presentation is going to talk you through GCSE history. My aim is to talk you through the content, the assessment, the skills from this subject and also the careers paths that it can lead to. Sometimes I hear quite often, GCSE history, it can't help me in my future, it's just about the past. That's not quite correct, okay? History isn't just about the content and the topics that you study, it's about the transferable skills that you will gain and that you will keep with you for life. GCSE history will help you to understand how the world you live in was shaped, and it will make you consider today's society in different ways. Going through life, being able to understand different people's interpretations about events and life in general is always a bonus skill to have. Okay, everybody is so different. Also, employers and universities do regard history qualifications very, very highly indeed. Okay. History is very academic and it is a difficult subject, okay? So in order to have a qualification in this, it will be looked upon favourably. GCSE history, it isn't just about the past, okay? It may well just be your ticket to an actual better future. So, what exactly is our course? GCSE history at Wearmouth, we sit the Edexcel examination board, and after 2 years of study in Key Stage 4, you will come out with a GCSE grade 1 to 9 qualification for history. You will have 6 lessons a fortnight. That means you will have 3 lessons a week for GCSE history, and at GCSE history, we do often have at least 1 double lesson a week. The assessment is also 100% examination, and this means that you will study your exams at the end of Year 11. You can see here the 4 main textbooks that we use. We study America, Norman Conquest, American West and Medicine. So how exactly does history link to the present, okay? So what I want you to think about is the 2 key things last year and at the moment that are dominating your life in the news, in public events and affairs, okay? And obviously it is very much about COVID-19. Well, what I can tell you about that is the study of medicine at GCSE history. It will take you back to the foundation and the building blocks. We will look at the setting up of the public health. We will look at beliefs about causes of disease. We will also look at the treatments. You'll also be able to study and to find out when we became aware that germs existed, which wasn't until the late 19th century, and because of that, technology has then allowed medicine to move forward by actually making vaccinations. You also look at the setting up of the National Health Service and what the National Health Service can do, which again is really significant at the moment in our fight against COVID. We also know that the Black Lives Matter has been a very key and prominent feature of news and people's lives at the moment. And again, that does link back to the civil rights movement. So if you've been interested in this and following the Black Lives Matter and you want to know where this all started, where did it come from, why do people say that they've not got equal rights, then again, GCSE history and our topic and examination on the civil rights movement is exactly right for you. And finally, we know that we've all been going under lockdown at the moment, haven't we? And that we've got lots of implementations of different tiers for social movement and restrictions. This isn't a new thing of government policy by restricting people's lives, and when you study the Native Americans, you will also look at the restrictions that were placed upon them. And again, we'll be looking at elements of social history, which you will be able to link to and be able to put your personal experience to. So let's look at the assessment breakdown. So in total, Year 9, by the end of Year 11, you will have sat 4 hours and 20 minutes worth of examinations for history. Now don't worry, you're not going to sit that all in one go. Your first exam paper is 1 hour and 15 minutes. In total, it's worth 52 marks and it is split into 2. You will look at medicine in Britain, and you will also have a section of source analysis, okay, where you will have to make inferences and answer questions based on sources very specific to the injuries, treatment that soldiers suffered in the trenches during the Western Front World War I, 1914 to 1918. Your second examination paper, paper 2, it has got the largest amount of weighting and marks for 64 marks, and it is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Here there are two parts of the examination. You will have your questions on the American West, and then you will have your questions on Anglo-Saxon and Norman England, which you will have studied in Year 7. And your final exam paper is worth 52 marks. Again, another written examination. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes, and this will be split into two halves, looking at the civil rights movement and also looking at the Vietnam War. Everything is sat at the end of Year 11. There will not be any coursework, there is no field work or module examinations. Okay, what I would like you to do is go back and play this presentation, preferably with me on mute, okay, and go over these next few slides that I've made for you, which outlines the course content. This tells you everything that you will study within GCSE history. You can see that the medicine part is split into three different key areas, looking at the ideas and causes of disease and illness, the approaches and prevention and treatment, and then a case study. And we look at this over 4 different time periods, the same reoccurring questions. We also, as I've mentioned, have a historical environment question. This is looking at the injuries during trench warfare. It's looking at medical treatment on the Western Front, and it includes the problems of ill health arising from the trench environments. This part of the paper is where there will be a selection of appropriate sources for specific questions, and it is looking at your source analysis skills. We studied the Anglo-Saxons and Norman Englands. You will have covered all of Unit 1 and a little bit of Unit 2 with establishing control in Year 7. So this is building on your blocks that you had back in Year 7, and it's going much deeper into further analysis and depth. You will see that we have got 3 units, and the final unit is where you will look at the government, the changes in aristocracy like culture and language, the economy, and all of those things are very relevant to our lives today. We also study the American West. Again, this is split into 3 key units. We start looking at the settlement of the plains and the Native Americans. Then we move on to looking at the migration process and who wanted to move over onto this area of land and the impact upon the Native Americans through this. This finally accumulates into the destruction of the lives of the Native Americans and their movement onto reservations. And your final topic, by Year 11, you will look at the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War. I do really want to stress to you, Year 9, that even though we look at the Vietnam War, it is only 1 section out of 8 on this key examination that is actually about the fighting. So you can see where it says the nature and conflicts of Vietnam. We look at the tactics that are used by both sides. We look at the key features. The other 7 units are looking at reasons for involvement in Vietnam, government policies, and the escalation of the war. We look at the opposition and the support back home in America towards the war, and finally we look at the reasons for the failure of Vietnam and why America withdrew. This course isn't just about battles and warfare. Okay, so you might be thinking, why should you choose GCSE history? You might now be thinking, oh, I definitely do like some of those topics, but what about the skills and where can this take me forward in life? Your skills are indeed transferable. You have your problem solving, analysis, using evidence, arguing, and reaching judgments. These are all life skills that you will take with you. We link well with other subjects, which I will explain in a few more slides. And as I've mentioned, the reputation of GCSE history is very, very high. It is a very academic course, and colleges, universities and employers are aware of this and do value this. History, it is not just about the past, it does help us gain a key understanding into our lives today in the present. So where can this course take you? It can take you into law, publishing and media, education, consultancy, the public sector, hospitality and tourism. History can actually take you everywhere. Please don't think that getting a GCSE in history means that you will only be able to become a history teacher. If you think about what subjects you would be able to combine history with and the careers, history and English would link very well to a career for anybody interested in journalism, interested in writing perhaps. Research, admin, becoming an entrepreneur and management will all be careers that you can link maths, business and even IT together with history. Thinking about travel, thinking about a career in medicine or archaeology, then history and science and history or geography, these subjects combined can lead to these careers. We've also got history and drama with history and music. You can see historical film, TV and even theatre. And if you're thinking that you might want to have a future in social work, the police services, law, politics, then again, history is specifically right for you. History and art or textiles can lead you to costume and set design, restoration projects. So, is history the right subject for you? Please do go back over this presentation, look very much at what the examination process is and look at the topics that you will be studying. It is a highly intellectually and stimulating content-filled course. You definitely do need to have a lot of enthusiasm and you do need to like the subject in order to take this GCSE. There is a lot of literacy skills that you need in order to succeed. The main part of this course is reading and it is writing essays and answering these in examinations. Our examinations are not small, simple 1 or 2 mark questions either, okay? Every exam paper that you will sit has exam questions that are essays for 8, 12 and even 20 marks. So you are being assessed on your extended writing and judgment ability, as well as your source analysis skills. Pupils in the past have often said they want to take history because their friends are taking it. They want to take history because they can't wait to study Hitler, which is what they've done back in Key Stage 3, or they've got an interest in the Egyptians, or that they like their teachers. These are all reasons why you shouldn't take any GCSE subjects. You shouldn't take a subject based on your friends. You will not be guaranteed to be in the same class as your friends for the next 2 years. If you like your teacher, there is no guarantee that you will be given that teacher for 2 years. Okay? And finally, if you have loved Key Stage 3 history, I really do want you to be aware that we do not study the wars, we do not look at Hitler at GCSE history at all. Please do go back and look at the examination specification of the content that we do study. However, overall, history, it will give you skills for life: analysis, explanation, communication, developing arguments, exploring evidence, and understanding different interpretations. If you have any questions, please feel free to speak to any of the history teachers. Myself, Miss Mosley, Mr. Hodgson and Miss Puller are the 3 teachers of GCSE history, okay? Or you could also email us at our email addresses. One last slide I'm going to leave you with for you to read through at your own time is just a little bit more about the skills and the study of people and where history can take you.